Hey everyone, today I've got the Counselor movie review. This is a movie that's directed by Ridley Scott and stars Michael Fassbender, Javier Bardem, Penelope Cruz, Cameron Diaz, and Brad Pitt. This is a movie that is about Michael Fassbender, who plays a counselor certain situations and trying to help people who basically, were in prison, just doing all these things. And of course, he doesn't really have a name in this movie, so it's actually kind of an inside joke for me to have to hear him being called Counselor every time, because it just reminds me of Rock and Roll, if you've seen that movie, where Tom Wilkinson's character is like, "Oi, Counselor!" I wasn't really sure if I wanted to see. I know I definitely was looking into this movie because of the all-star cast, and obviously I really am a fan of Ridley Scott as a director. Felt like, this was a new movie of his that, seemed really different from the ones that he's done in the past. There's, certain things about this movie that I liked and didn't like. So, the things that I did like, obviously, was the casting. I'm a huge fan of some of these actors. I really have been enjoying Michael Fassbender recently. I felt like, he was definitely the star of the show. You saw, his character being broken down basically to, his, last, breaking point where he can actually, handle situations when he really needed to. Things were happening in his life that just changed him so much. When he gets with Penelope Cruz, who I thought, she was pretty decent in this movie. I wouldn't say, obviously she didn't have the biggest role in this movie, but it was very important. You have both Javier Bardem and Brad Pitt, they're sort of counseling the counselor on these drug trafficking situations, and sort of giving him a heads up of what's going on. And obviously Michael Fassbender, the hard-headed that he was in this movie, just didn't seem to listen, and that was sort of driving the story along, so you can see the consequences of his actions and all that stuff that was happening. You have Cameron Diaz. I have never seen her sort of play a pretty and she was kind of nasty in this movie. She was she kind of had an evil side to her, so it was really interesting to see her like this, because I haven't seen anything, unless you guys know of a movie where she's played sort of a bad chick. I just felt like some of the things that I didn't really like about this movie, despite having such a I felt like the script was really impressive. It felt like it was trying to be really intelligent, but, for the audience, obviously, certain, dialogue may not make sense. I mean, it kind of dragged along, quite a bit. I wouldn't say I was completely bored with this movie, but I just felt like it almost seemed like these scenes were just agonizingly, just long, and I felt like they could have cut things out. I would say, I would have definitely preferred this movie, with more, intelligent stuff, where you sort of, have to, it's like a puzzle almost, you just have to piece all these different things together, and you might not even know what the answer really is in the end of what was going on, how the characters were dealing with it, but it was, nonetheless, pretty awesome to watch. Some action, it was thrilling, it was mysterious, and the acting was pretty decent, but I just didn't feel like it really the greatest movie, and I wouldn't say I overhyped it or anything for myself, but I know that it's probably not for everybody, unless you just want to see a movie with made by an awesome director and has a good cast. It's kind of ironic, too, because for a movie that's only, an hour and a half long, it felt like it was much longer than that. So having it to be shorter might not be a good idea. I mean, I feel like an hour and a half is, the cutoff for movies nowadays, and And if it's anything less than that, it's probably not as good. I mean, at least it was decent. Overall, The Counselor, you know, was pretty decent. Would I see it again? Probably not, but that doesn't mean that it was necessarily bad, because I still respect Ridley Scott as a director, and I would prefer he make movies that, you know, he's really well known to make instead of like these. I feel like he should stray away from these type of movies. Maybe let some other director do it. So that doesn't necessarily mean it was his fault. As this movie was quite a trip. It's probably all those drugs. Just saying. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought of The Counselor. Do you think that this is one of Ridley Scott's best movies? Who do you think did a good job at acting in this movie? As always, you guys can subscribe to my channel. I've got more movie reviews, movie updates, coming every for a Thursday video. You guys can also like me on Facebook and follow me